Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Josh here, Oreo Express. Hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you guys being here. We got Hunter in the house. Trina's in the house. Old Uncle Bill's back. Check that out. We can get the show on the road now that old Uncle Bill's back. Susan's in the house. Cade, Texas. What's up? Texas Bigfoot. And Pixie's in the house, guys. Welcome back. Well, we got some updates on some stuff. As you guys have probably heard, Trump put on a 90-day pause on some of the tariffs. We're going to talk about that. He increased the tariffs to China, but on all the other countries, put a 90-day pause on that for negotiation purposes. We'll get into that and get into a lot of other things. We also had a whistleblower, and I find this one incredible, but we had a whistleblower from Facebook talking about our private data and how the servers for Facebook in China. And what it brought to me is I didn't see Cory Booker, I didn't see Pocahontas or Senator Schumer tweeting out any of this stuff saying the same thing they said about Doge. Because remember, when American citizens that were tasked by our government to look into waste, abuse, and fraud, they said, they're getting into your personal data. We can't allow this. Remember, that was like a 2-week thing. They realized it fell on deaf ears. But now when we have a major company like Meta, Facebook, Instagram, willing to allow China to access your data, I think Democrats will be silent on it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Some of the other stuff that has came up. Jan Garner made it in. KLM 79. Deb V. Nola's in the house. Thank you guys. 60s Patriot. Thank you guys for popping in here. If I could get you to do a favor, hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. Share this out. And we're going to get ready to rock and roll. See what my first one was. Okay, so this one I just want to, we covered, was it last week or maybe the week before? Sometimes we cover so much, it just rolls together. But we covered the hearing, the Doge Committee hearing on NPR and PBS. Yeah, we actually played it live. We covered it live that morning. And, them saying we don't have no biases, we don't have this. And I would say the general public wants that your tax dollars not to go to that. They want that to be defunded from our tax dollars. If you want to do something private and you have a great thing, bring it private. You could be just as left as you are now. You could have the same left-leaning bias as CNN and MSNBC. But I wanted... Bill Maher actually tweeted this on April 8th, which was yesterday. And Bill Maher he's taking that classic liberal approach. Like he calls out liberals when needs be. But I want you to listen to what he says right here when it comes to public broadcasters. Take a listen to this.
The heads of NPR and PBS testified before Congress this week amid accusations of liberal bias. Should the government continue to send taxpayer dollars to public broadcasters? Well, a little background here. I mean, they've been after them the Republicans have wanted to get rid of PBS for as long as I can remember. This crowd will probably do it. I mean, I also read my namesake, Catherine Maher, was head of NPR, and she said, we're completely unbiased. Give me a break, lady. I mean,
that is Bill Maher saying that, a liberal saying, give me a break. Even though Democrats have been touting, they're not biased. They just cover what needs to be covered. And even though there was so much evidence, they covered up the Hunter Biden laptop story, just like Google and Facebook and all the other things. So many stories that they failed to report on are reported on incorrectly. Listen to this.
They're crazy far left.
Crazy far left coming from Bill Maher.
So, I mean, I think we're past the age, really, where the government, first of all, why do we need to subsidize? Why can't we have outlets like this? And we're so polarized These outlets became popular at a time when Republicans and Democrats didn't hate each other and weren't at each other's throats and didn't think each other was an existential threat. In that world, you can't have places like this, I think, anymore. They have to be private.
Yeah, I think Yuri Berliner, ex-NPR employer, his piece this week, where he said that they should just let go of the funding. I love NPR. I listen to NPR almost every day, have since 1975, when my parents used to play it in our Chevrolet Caprice when I was like 9 years old. I love it for its point of view, but since 2020, it has no longer been general. I remember in 2021, my then 9-year-old asked me, and of course she has no sense of context. I don't pump her full of things like this. She said from the back seat in a very different car, she said, "Daddy, why is it that NPR is always playing the same thing?" And I said, "What do you mean the same thing?" And I swear she said, now she doesn't have a vocabulary, but she said, "It's always about how somebody can't do something." And that what she was getting at was that. I wouldn't have said that about the NPR that I knew back in the day, and I wouldn't have said it 10 years ago, but that is what it is now. I will listen to it daily, but it's no longer a general audience venue.
Right.
Not going to fare well for NPR or PBS for that matter. And to get liberals to go on and say, yeah, it's far left, I think is an understatement. It's almost operated by the Democrat Party. I mean, remember the NPR woman that was on there, a Trump hater, a conservative hater. It's just crazy. Now, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the Tesla stuff. But this one, you have to watch because we tell you they're eating their own. They're vandalizing Teslas. Many people bought Teslas, especially here in California over the years because they wanted to be environmentally friendly. Watch this guy. Watch this guy.
Check it out, guys. Somebody keyed the crap out of my Tesla, a car I bought 6 years ago in the state of California because I'm concerned about climate change. Oh, but some amazing resistance fighter keyed the crap out of it, and that's going to do it. Voting didn't work, but this defiling the car of a fellow liberal, we did it, guys. We got him. Today's our Liberation Day. Go celebrate. Just go celebrate. Woo!
Go celebrate. That's got to be frustrating for him, right? Like, there's so many people that bought Teslas that might not even care about Elon Musk, doesn't care, don't even vote. A lot of people don't vote, folks. But they thought, I'm going to go test drive one. They seen it. They liked it. They're like, California gas prices are through the roof. This is going to save me some money. Bought a Tesla. And now they're looking at Democrats like, hey, no wonder your ratings are so low. No wonder your approval ratings are in the tank. And we've been covering that. I thought this was interesting too. This is from CNN.com. Let's take a little read. It says New York public schools tell Trump administration they won't comply with DEI order. Now, this was from Saturday, April 5th. But it says New York state officials have told the Trump administration they will not comply with its demands to end diversity, equity, and inclusion practices in public schools, despite the administration's threat to terminate federal education funding. Daniel Morton Bentley, counsel and deputy commissioner of the State Department of Education, said in a letter dated Friday to the Federal Education Department, the state officials do not believe the federal agency has the authority to make such demands. Again, they can pick a hill to die on. If DEI and teaching racism and everything that they want to do is the hill to die on, again, we're going to see if the Trump administration has that right over federal funds to decide where federal funds go. It says the Trump administration on Thursday ordered K through 12 schools nationwide to certify within 10 days they are following federal civil rights laws and ending, listen to this, ending any discriminatory DEI practices as a condition for receiving federal money. Federal money compromises about 6% of the total funding for New York K through 12 schools. So they're saying we're not going to end our discriminatory DEI practices. And we'll see. I thought about this of what some districts might do. 6% is a lot of money. It doesn't sound like a lot when you think of New York in general and how many. Let me see here really quick. New York. Let's see what they spend per year in New York public education. And then we'll get. Wow, they spend a lot. $35,000 per pupil. Holy cow. Could you imagine the private schooling you could get for $35,000 a year? But it's approximately $85 billion. Let's see. Let me do the math, or let this do the math. $5.1 billion. $5.1 billion. So again, I've thought about this a little bit, and people like Gavin Newsom, people like New York, there's a couple other states, maybe Washington, the state of Oregon, who would defy this. You know, the woke ones, the ones with the highest cost of living, the highest gas prices, highest transportation cost, highest taxes. Those would be the ones that would do this. And I thought, you know, maybe New York's going to pass this on and say, listen, Governor Hochul, come out and say, Trump's taken away $5.1 billion and we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover that, which means you taxpayers are now on the hook for $5.1 billion. It's just absolutely insane. And I'm wondering if they're going to do that. Again, Democrats haven't seen a tax they don't like in my lifetime. They just haven't. And so we'll follow up on that. I think some places are going to be a little shocked, to say the least. I thought this was good. This is what I voted for. This was an article. Check out the headline. It says pronouns in bio, you may not get a response from the White House. It says some Trump administration officials have declined to answer questions from several journalists on the basis of their email signatures. I voted for that. And I honestly, I've had people respond to me, our news agencies, when we're out reporting something, and I automatically, if they have a pronoun, she, her, he, him, they, them, zong, whatever they are, I don't respond. And I'll even put in there, due to your pronouns, I will not respond to you. I already see where you stand politically. Because, if someone doesn't have their pronouns, it doesn't mean that they're a conservative. It just means they have common sense and they're not playing that far left woke ideology game. And I think this is great. One more time, guys. Pronouns in bio, you may not get a response from the White House. Some Trump administration officials have declined to answer a question from several journalists on the basis of their email signatures. Crazy. Now, I seen this article. I want to bring this up. We know that Los Angeles is in the hole. We've talked about it. They keep making excuses of why they're in the hole. They've spent, billions of dollars on homelessness. Can't account for it. Have more homeless now than before when they started spending. You have, the woke mayor Karen Bass, who fled the country when her city was getting ready to go up in smoke and flames. Even Trump called her out when he was there because the people that live there know what happened. They didn't have fire trucks set up, all this stuff, all the things that you would prepare for in a high wind situation. I see this ABC 7 News. Look at this. Trash fees for Los Angeles residents could increase by 54%. 54%, folks. They're doing a great job handling their economy here. Let's see. Is this it? Let's pull this up.
The plan would trash fees for people who live in the city of LA could soon increase by 54%. Today, 2 committees plan to hold a special session to talk about the proposal. The plan would raise fees for single-family customers from about $32 to almost $56. Officials say the hike is necessary to address inflation, the maintenance of vehicles and equipment, and overhead costs. If approved by the City Council, the hike would go into effect in the 2025-2026 fiscal year.
$32 to $56. Again, Democrat policies.
It's time to begin the hunt.
Democrat policies. It
to
doesn't
share
affect,
the eggs.
Doesn't affect the well-off, does it? It affects middle class and lower income earners. These are Democrat. $32 to $56. That's almost double. See, double would be $64. So 32 to 56. They are $8 away from doubling their trash cost. And again, mismanagement, poor planning. We're going to have, it's going to get much worse than this. I mean, we cover LA, we cover California politics. It's going to get much worse than this. Inflation. So are they talking about Biden's inflation? Because inflation's been stagnant since Trump's got in office. So are they going to give credit where credit is due if it's truly inflation? And it's not. So when it comes to these things, they mismanage things. Many cities do it. They go out, they don't take care of things. There's some cities, I wasn't at Fresno that, well, we failed to give a rate increase for 6 years. We failed to manage it and look into the future. So now we're going to do it all at once type stuff. Well, this is just more mismanagement in LA. And if they would have done this sooner, it wouldn't be so high. But again, that's what you get for living in Los Angeles. You want to talk about wokeness, and you want to talk about somebody that if this was my child's school, we would be having issues with. This happened on March 17th. There was a bomb threat at a school, and the principal of the school refused entry to the police because, you guessed it, she didn't feel safe. She was rather put students in danger, students in jeopardy, and you could probably already imagine. I don't have to tell you who these people are. You'll see it's all DEI. Take a listen to this.
With the information?
I'm going to walk out and give it to you.
Okay.
You, for some reason, you don't like the police, and you want to make things so difficult for us that we don't want to come to your school. And listen, I listened to you, did I not?
You did.
You are, and I don't know what in your life happened that you hate us so much that you don't want to cooperate. But the Teachers Union, and I've talked with them.
I'm gonna pause you because it's not going to be back.
Honestly, when I read this story before I watched it, I knew it'd be a black principal that was a DEI hire. Absolutely knew it.
And forth. I don't have any hate towards the police or anything like that. There are some who come in over to Ridgeview who are just fine. Mm-hmm. But all of this and escalatedness and so forth and so on, I do not feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. But because I'm the building principal, and ridiculous. I heard what was going on, safe right now. I came on.
You don't feel safe right now.
I do not.
Okay, well so then why don't you go back to your office and hide in safety?
So Mr. Howe, did you provide him with the information?
I'm going to walk out and give it to you. Okay. Can I go and give you?
Yeah, just give me the top half, and that's fine. I need name, date of birth, and his contact information.
That's what we'll give you. And then, like I said,
and that's what we had not been provided in the past. So that's actually a benefit for us today.
Because we were the ones who called the school. We called from our end.
Well, you haven't been willing to do that before. So now there has been some changes. There has been some changes. And you've been forced to give us some information that we've needed. You never have. This is a first for you. I'm impressed.
May I have your badge,
sir? It's Officer Connor, badge 1300.
Figure out what's going on.
Give me 1 second. We'll get the time done.
You see what I mean? Something in her life has happened, and I don't know what, but she is absolutely the most uncooperative person that I've ever dealt with in a school system that wants the police. But if there's a situation here, we don't need to beg that to get through that door. This is ridiculous.
Doesn't need to be anywhere in our education system. Again, that is crazy. Let me see if there's any updates. Hopefully, I don't know if she'll lose her job or not, since that was in March. I didn't look for updates, but let me do this really quick. Let's see, hopefully she's in the unemployment line. You got the Columbus Dispatch. Columbus Police Union, CCS, at odds after officers responding to bomb threat stopped at door. Let's see what theirs says. How does that principal have a job still? That's what I want to know. Like, if you put me in charge of your children and you want them to be safe, and probably if there's a bomb threat or there's some information they need to protect our students, I'm going to give it to them. Let's see if it's the same stuff. It might be just that. Yeah. Anything else? Body cam video. Yeah, it just came out. The body cam video just came out, looks like yesterday. There should be calls for her to resign. That is insane. She should be fired, to be honest with you. But we'll see how that goes. Check this out. So I don't think I mentioned it to you last time. So that there's been some coordinated attacks on X by people wanting to get people removed, and these people call themselves patriots. One of the people that was removed from X was Joe Biggs, at Real Joe Biggs. Just got pardoned, from Trump, or not the pardon, the commutation, I think it was, from Trump. And so now they are doing these little things that should actually get you banned from X for doing it. So if you go onto another platform and you encourage people to report something that isn't actually happening, and then you go on X and take credit for it, that is terms for your ban. That's Elon said that. This was from Enrique Tarrio. He put up expose. Let me show you what a psyop and propaganda looks like. In a private messaging thread, ask for your subs to mass report an account. In this case, they use Signal Telegram. Successfully get the account banned. Post a lie and say the account was banned for reason other than why it was reported. Make it sensational. An example, because he promoted violence against a government agency. The same host of the show admits he mass flagged the account. I think this is more of a pride thing than to further the fake pearl clutching claim. Repeat steps 1 through 4 on the next targets, in this case, me. What was done here is platform manipulation, and their hubris exposed it. Attached are the screenshots. So Shady Grove, which is also in the Matrix on X, Shady Grove responded, said, "We aren't anonymous. I put my name on my work exposing you feckless Roger Stone lady boy frauds. I like the way I got Biggs down today, shortcut. Shortcake. Shortcut. Shortcake. Then you have in the Matrix, breaking. Joe Biggs suspended for making threats against the FBI. Joe Biggs never made any threats against the FBI. But again, sensationalism. Mickey Marano, hopefully you'll be next. I shared that. If you guys want to go to my X and share it out, tag support and Elon Musk to bring back Joe Biggs. This is actually, it's just sad, because these people hide in their studios. They won't be out reporting when we're out on the streets or anything, or we would confront them. And that's what they do. They sit there in their little basement, and it's unfortunate that they are doing this to Joe Biggs. Let's see. Am I missing some comments? There we go. Check this out. This is what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Meta whistleblower Sarah Wynne Williams told senators in testimony Wednesday on Capitol Hill that the social media company worked hand in glove with the Chinese government to censor its platforms, according to her written remarks obtained by CBS News. And I want to pull this up a little. Listen to her opening statement.
And the American public.
Just a short
My name is Sarah Wynne Williams, and I served as the Director of Global Policy at Facebook, now Meta, for nearly 7 years, starting in 2011. Throughout those 7 years, I saw Meta executives repeatedly undermine U.S. national security and betray American values. They did these things in secret to win favor with Beijing and build an $18 billion business in China. We are engaged in a high-stakes AI arms race against China. And during my time at Meta, company executives lied about what they were doing with the Chinese Communist Party to employees, shareholders, Congress, and the American public. My name is Sarah Wynne Williams. And
so that was some of it. And then Josh Hawley got involved. And again, I want you to listen to this. Just insane.
So I want to just be clear about this. Here in this document, Facebook is talking about making Chinese user data available to the Chinese government because they're going to store that data in China. Is that correct?
Correct.
But when you store that data in China, Americans who exchange messages or other information with Chinese Facebook users, that would mean the Chinese government could get access to the American data as well. Is that correct?
Through the POP servers, potentially, yes.
And Facebook was willing to take that risk?
Yes, there was a lot of discussion about this, and ultimately, yes.
I mean, this is extraordinary. This is exactly contrary to what Facebook has represented for years. Here, they're willing to build data centers, store data in China. They are willing explicitly to give the Chinese government access to it. And if that means that American user data is also compromised, they're willing to do that too. All for profits in China. There was virtually nothing they weren't willing to do.
And again, that's your data, my data, anybody that interacted with any of that stuff. And I don't hear Pocahontas, Adam Schiff saying, you know, that they were worried about American citizens working for the federal government as part of the Doge team. They put that message out. They had press conferences. They had rallies. They're stealing your data. They're being able to access your data. Yeah, the federal government can't access our data, by the way. I didn't know if you guys knew that. But again, it was one of their scare tactics, but they're okay with this. They're okay with this. Maybe they'll change their stance, and maybe we'll get a good investigation into Facebook now that they donated some money to Trump. Just because they donated money for Trump, I still think they need to be investigated. I think any platform that has censored people based on politics, to censor them to interfere with election, needs to be shut down, or all those accounts given back and an apology given. I would love to see that day come in. So let's see. Breaking. I was listening. I was getting this show ready, and this was breaking. President Trump says he's pausing tariff on many countries while raising tariffs on China to 125%. What else do we got here? We got this. I want you to listen
out of line,
to this
they were
here.
getting.
Come on.
Can you walk us through your thinking about why you decided to put a 90-day pause?
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know. They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions, because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents. They wouldn't have done it. and it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also. But somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable. Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States. That's not right. And now I've reversed it. It's for a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day. And somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said he's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have a country. It wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm honored to have done it. And, look, nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. It's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well. And they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal. And we have many other countries, as you know, many more than 75, and they all want to come. And they want to come here, or they'll go to Commerce, or they'll go to Treasury. We have our great senators here and congressmen. They'll call John. They'll do somebody. They'll go through somebody, but they're all calling. How do we do this? They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate. So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible. A man like Roger Penske, I don't want to get him in trouble with China, so I won't, but he would know that someday you have to cut the bow, and you have to do what you have to do, right, Roger? And that's what I did. And
so that was it. And I thought it was interesting. And again, I put in the comments of this record stock market numbers, because I wanted to play the Democrat game today. Remember when Democrats shut down all the businesses, like Gavin Newsom, and then when Biden got in office, they opened up and said, you guys could open up. And they said, Joe Biden created all these jobs. And they lived off that. They still consider a bounce back job, a business that was shut down forcefully by the federal government, allowed to reopen. They consider that creating jobs. Let me see if this is the same thing.
Nothing's over yet, but we have China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also. But somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable. Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States. That's not right. And now I've reversed it. It's for a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day. And somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said he's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month.
So again, we'll show you what happened when the stock market. Now, again, we had everybody panicking, but we've played a lot of videos over the last couple days of Democrats wanting to go after China. Why isn't Trump going after China? Now, before it was just tariffs. Now that the main focus is China, which it should be, and we're going to be negotiating, listening to some of the press conference when Trump signed executive orders. We're going to get into a couple of those and show you how triggered the left is, because he's doing bipartisan agreements. He said one of the reporters asked him, he said, you said this was not a negotiation. And he's like, some things aren't a negotiation until they're in negotiation. We have countries we're now negotiating with. It's going to make it better for America. So we had to do this. We had to show them. And so it's going to be interesting how China plays out. It's going to be really interesting. But listen to Chucky Schumer.
The Trump slump So look, you can't undo the damage. The Trump slump is upon us now. And whatever he will try to do in the future does not undo the damage.
What damage? Prices haven't went up. I mean, because that was the thing they kept saying is prices are up, prices are up. All the Democrats kept saying that, and I kept going to the grocery stores. I noticed that, oh my God, they put discounts on Fords. They put discount on other vehicles, cheaper. They were less expensive than they were before the tariffs. So it kind of saved some people money if you were in the car market. Well, there was no damage, was there? And this is a negotiation process. This is how you work. Again, Democrats didn't want to do it. They had the House, the Senate, and everything else. Why didn't they do anything about other countries taking advantage of us? Because they are America last. They're okay with subsidizing China. They're okay with subsidizing China. And check this out. The Dow closed almost 3,000 points up after President Trump announced a 90-day pause on some tariffs. Again, there are still some that are out there that they are working on. And you know what? Trump said it. I think if you've been in business or negotiations, and now people are saying, well, the press secretary said there wasn't going to be any 90-day just 2 days ago. She lied. Guys, I'm just going to tell you, if we're playing Old Maid or Go Fish, I'm going to cover my cards. I don't want you to know what I have and what I'm doing. But Democrats think, well, Joe Biden would have told them what was going on. It's just absolutely stunning how stupid these people are. Before I move on right here, I want to remind you all, guys, we are 100% viewer funded. We are doing a raffle. It's Wednesday. We will be doing the raffle live on the live stream on Friday. If you guys want to get in, I'll show you what you're entering for. Again, everything you guys donate goes back into this. It keeps us going, keeps the lights on, keeps the bills paid, the data, everything else. And we are far behind this month. So if you guys feel it in your heart to bless us, we appreciate it. Check this out right here. The Donald Trump Lives Here stamp. I got to get me one. And like I told you guys earlier, get those glasses that record so we can go into liberal places and pay with that money. Check that out. The Trump koozie, Donald Trump hair koozie, keep America great for your springtime barbecues, your 4th of July. You got to get it. Then we have a sign here. It says, this place is politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas, one nation under God. We salute our flag and give thanks to our troops. If this offends you, leave. And we have We, the people, have had enough decal. And don't forget, I've been forgotten to tell you guys, then we have 2 of the bills. Renee sent us some bills to add to the raffle. So 2 of the Trump bills right here. We got 2 of those that'll be going with you. And again, we will be doing that live during our live stream on Friday. If you guys want to jump in, we appreciate it. The ways to do it is every $10 donation gets you 1 entry. So if you do $30 donation, that's 3 entries into the drawing. You can donate at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. Or if you use the Zelle through your banking app, you can go to our website. There's a link there. It's theoreoexpress.com. And you scroll down a little and there'll be a donate now button. It'll have all our links on there. And we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys a lot. So thank you so much for helping us out. Let's see what the next one was. It says, the White House posted, do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. That was about an hour and a half ago. And then listen to this. They posted.
We are willing to hear you. We're going to go down to a 10. And we saw the successful negotiating strategy that President Trump implemented a week ago today. It has brought more than 75 countries forward to negotiate. It took great courage for him to stay the this moment. And what we have ended up with here, as I told everyone a week ago, there in this very spot, do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you. We're going to go down to a 10% baseline tariff for them, and China will be raised to 125 due to their insistence on escalation.
I love it. It's going to turn out so well for us. Check this out. ABC News. Let's listen to what they say with the U.S. and China.
Administration officials saying that China is going to have to bend because China has vowed to fight to the end in this. How do we expect they're going to respond here? Well, the reality here, Eva, is that the U.S. and China are engaged in a very risky game of chicken to see who essentially blinks first. And you have both Beijing and Washington believing that they've got the upper hand. You hear Trump administration officials saying that China is going to have to bend because they rely on the U.S. market for exports. The U.S. is, of course, a very wealthy and massive consumer base for U.S. goods. You just heard Rebecca ticking off the numbers there, hundreds of billions of dollars in exports. But then you also have Beijing seeing the U.S., according to what experts tell me, as becoming economically weaker under the Trump administration, less predictable and more isolated from its allies. And what I'm hearing is that Beijing is not in a rush to make a deal. They are not in a rush to negotiate at this moment, especially when they have the threat of these increasingly ever higher tariffs from the Trump administration. Xi Jinping has to save face for the domestic audience at home and show this sort of strength. You know, Beijing has also been preparing for this possibility for years now. They went through that trade war during President Trump's first administration. They've been looking to diversify, but no question, Eva, this is going to cause economic pain for China. For now, they are willing to take that hit and stay strong.
Don't you wish that our local reporters, our American reporters, if you will, would ever give the United States credit and consider us strong and a world-class country? It's almost like they always go to bat for the enemy. And that's exactly what it is, the enemy. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, again, what you were hearing, you got to look. And I'm going to play a video here in a minute of somebody who's made a lot of money. I don't think he should be punished for making a lot of money. But I told you in our first show before the pause on tariffs, who was this hurting? It wasn't hurting you. It wasn't hurting me. Yes, stock 401ks were down a little. It was all temporary. It would have been temporary if it would have kept up. But I'm going to, Dave Portnoy, El Presidente, if you know him. I like him for his pizza reviews. That's what I like him for. But he makes a lot of money. He live streams his stock market stuff. He has multiple businesses, has a casino, Barstool Sports. And I just want to show you how quickly things change. I want to show you how quickly change things. This was CNN this morning. So happy to have Dave Portnoy upset over the tariffs. Take a listen.
Do you see yourself supporting Democrats?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you see yourself supporting Democrats?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing about me, which drives me crazy, I vote for Trump. I support him. I was never like some crazy MAGA guy. Like I look at each candidate and I choose who I like. I think the left and a lot of even what they did with, I want to say, hiding Biden's mental state and not having a primary really drove me to the right. So I am not somebody who would just strictly vote based on Republican or Democrat. I vote on the people running, how I think they speak to me, the issues that are important to me. But yes, I will vote how I feel is the best interest of what I believe in.
So they wanted to get that soundbite of Dave Portnoy this morning. Again, trying to get everybody against the tariffs and everything else. Now, let me show you Dave Portnoy just about 2 hours ago.
And I bought the burgers. I'm up 8.2 million today. And I bought at the low. I'm getting some stats. I'm stuck.
All the left, they're going to run away. They're going to disappear. I got that guy from the West Wing. Let's see. The West Wing guy, saw him email me today. That wonderful moron. I'm going to bring this country together. I told you. I said, be patient. All right, this guy. Oh, that guy from the West.
Now he's celebrating. He's up 8 million. He did what we said to buy. Stocks are low. Buy now. This is your opportunity to invest. It isn't going to stay like this. We said it on probably 4 or 5 shows in a row. He's up 8 million now. Those are the people that were affected. Your grocery prices didn't go up. Your car insurance rates didn't go up unless you're in California or New York. Your gas prices didn't go up, again, unless you're in California and you're paying an average of $4.99 a gallon right now. I know some of you guys are paying $2.99. Exactly what we said, exactly what we called. But again, Democrats have the legacy media that goes in every living room and every house. Not everybody knows about podcasts. Not everybody knows how to do their own research. And they wanted to inflict fear and panic. They did it with Doge. Oh my God, there's starving children that are getting infected with AIDS that are dying in 3 days. Remember? They're going after your personal data. That's gone now. Now, the Democrats have spent their time spending money on trying to get, you can't make this stuff up, TDA gang members back into the country. I'm sorry, some of it's just absolutely absurd and wild. But this is where we are in America, guys. And I know, I don't know, is old Uncle Bill in here? I know he bought while it was down, so he's doing well. I don't see old Uncle Bill in here right now, but I know I told you guys this morning, if I had the money, I was just looking at Rumble. Let's see where Rumble ended up today. Rumble stock. So let's pull this up, take a look at this. Started at 689, now it's 805. But again, what do we know? Now, this is another issue. So Chucky Schumer is out there in his lonely press conference outside the Capitol with Cory Booker and some other whack jobs. And he tweeted this: the cost of raising a child is skyrocketing. Okay, now ask yourself, why is the cost of raising a child skyrocketing? I promise you the cost of raising a child hasn't went up since Joe Biden left office. It just hasn't. You can go Google the cost of daycare, the private providers for daycare, all that stuff hasn't gone up. That's why I'll never stop fighting for the child tax credit. It's essential to help children and parents buy school supplies, put food on the table, and afford medicines and other essentials. It's crucial to making America the kind of place we want to be. Now, in my world, when I look at something, I don't want a system that Democrats want. I don't want to be dependent on a child tax credit. What I want is no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, so that I can pay for that myself without begging you and being at the government's pleasure of getting a child tax credit. Now, Republicans are behind this as well a lot of times. But why can't we get both parties to say, listen, enough with the socialism? And I know Democrats will never do it, and some of the Republicans will never do this. Let's facilitate an economy where people don't need handouts. That's what Trump is trying to do, and Democrats were against him. That's what Trump was trying to do, and what's the first thing Democrats did? They took China's side, they took Japan's side, they took Canada's side. They just didn't take the American people's side. They lied to you. They said, oh, prices are up. Can't go. We showed you the news article this week. Low prices are back. No more inflation. That was from Save Mart. And when we went to the grocery store, we went to another store called Winco. We go in there. Certain things that, and I pay attention. Remember, I got a purchasing agent mentality. So like everybody that talks to me knows I always have numbers. I'm always talking numbers. If, whatever it is, it's always in the back of my mind. I was like, hey, Rach, check this out. This isn't on sale, but it's 30 cents cheaper. So something went from $1.99 to $1.69. No big deal, right? No big deal. But when all your prices do that and they go down, which is what's happening because of Trump's economy, then what do you have? Oh, no, but this is bad news. This little China product right here, this China product, it was $9.99. Now it's going to be $12.99. I don't, you're not going to get me on your side there. So check this out. This was interesting. We've talked about the war on water before in California. It's kind of funny. We just broke our normal for our snowfall and our rainfall. So we haven't been in a drought in about 3 years, and most of our droughts are man-made. And when I say man-made, they want you to conserve all this water because we push millions of gallons of water out into the ocean. You know, we've covered that. I'm not going to go through all that right now. But POTUS signs an executive order to end the Obama-Biden war on water pressure and make America's showers great again. I want to tell you guys, sometimes we go to these hotels and they have these Obama-Biden water faucets, and you have to dance around the shower 5 minutes to get wet. Let's take a listen to this. I love this stuff.
And other next up, sir, we have a series of executive orders and a memorandum all relating to deregulation, which has obviously been a major priority of your administration. The first of these is an executive order. The Biden administration launched what you've called a war on showers. They had certain regulations that basically killed the water pressure of showers and other water appliances.
You can say it. Go ahead. What are the appliances?
I mean, it's everything, sir.
Dishwashers,
toilets, sinks. But the shower heads are a
There's
huge
no
deal.
water. You don't get water. It's ridiculous.
So with this executive order, we're effectively going to be reversing that set of regulations to ensure that Americans have choice in the consumer market. If they want a low-flow shower head, they can buy one. If they want a real deal shower head, they should have the ability to get one.
You buy a new house, you pay a lot of money, and the developers, you're not allowed to do anything more. They put restrictors on. They used to have a restrictor where you could take it out, but now they weld it in. And you take a shower or wash your hands, whatever you do, including dishwashers where no water comes out. But you wash your hands, and in my case, I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. And I have to stand under the shower for 15 minutes till it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It's ridiculous. And what you do is you end up washing your hands 5 times longer. So it's the same water. And we're going to open it up so that people can live, and we're going to hopefully have Congress approve it so it's memorialized. We're going to try and get all of these things, including straws, little thing like straws. We did straws a month ago where the paper straws were melting. They were dissolving. They weren't working well. And we went back to the plastic straws. We're going to get Congress to memorialize just about everything we've done here because most of it's common sense. But the water is horrible. When you go into anytime you see a new faucet, you know it's going to be a long wash of the hands. And so we're changing. It's a big deal. I did it in the first administration. Biden came in his first week, and he had no idea what he was doing, but somebody told him to do it. In his first week, he put the restrictions on all the bathroom utilities, even in areas that have so much water they don't know what to do with it. You see those areas all the time with the flooding. So we're doing that, and we're going to get all of the things that you've seen. I think we set a record. We're up to almost 200 and 500 amendments. Nobody's ever done that many. We're going to get them approved by Congress so they're memorialized. And we look forward to doing that. It's very important. And Congress is going to start working on it as soon as.
So that was good news. That was good news. You guys got to understand it. We've had so much rules and regulation craps, and there was quite a few executive orders he signed today. What was the next one that we did bring up? I love this. I love this one too, because we know there was a lot of corruption and we want to hold those people accountable. So listen to this one. Listen to this one. I think that's 5.
presidential memorandum we have for you relates to Miles Taylor. You may recall that Miles Taylor served in the Department of Homeland Security during your previous administration. In his capacity with the Department of Homeland Security, he leaked classified information. He wrote a book under the pseudonym Anonymous, making outrageous claims both about your administration and about others in it. What this presidential memorandum is going to do, one, it's going to strip any active clearance that he has in light of his past activities involving classified information. It's also going to order the Department of Justice to investigate his activities to see what else might come up in that context, given his egregious behavior during your previous administration.
And I had no idea who this guy was. I had no idea. I saw him on CNN, or one of them, I guess CNN, a lot. He'd be on all the time saying that the president is I had no idea. It's like, you know, in this office, you have a lot of young people, and they're here. I'll see him for 2 minutes, and I assume he was in the office, but I barely remember him. It was somebody that went out and wrote a book and said all sorts of terrible things that were all lies. It was this gentleman or that gentleman, like I dealt with him all the time. I had no idea who this guy. I said, who the hell is Miles Taylor? And he made a living on going on CNN talking about the president. And I think what he's of lies, bad things. And I think it's like a traitor. It's like spying. He walks into the office. He's supposed to be sitting here. A lot of people, you know, I'll be here and there'll be 20 people standing in the room. There'll be oftentimes young people in the office. I assume he was one of them at least. But I didn't know anything about him. And he wrote a book, Anonymous, and I always thought it was terrible. And now we have a chance to find out whether or not it was terrible. But it was a work of fiction. Had a lot of publicity, got himself a nice job with CNN or one of them. And I think we have to do something about it. You can't have that happen. If that happens to other presidents, it wouldn't be sustainable for other presidents. I seem to be able to sustain. But if that happened to other presidents, I mean, it's just unfair. And if it was a Democrat president, I'd say that's a terrible thing. A thing like that can happen. That's a terrible thing. And it's time to find out whether or not somebody can do that. Can they write a book? And, you know, because they happen to be one of a lot of people in a room, and they go out and write a book, and worse than that, call it anonymous, like it's a big deal. And everybody saying, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Then it was found out who he was a long time later, and got a lot of publicity off that one. It's like a promoter. But we're going to find out whether or not somebody's allowed to do that. I think it's a very important case, and I think he's guilty of treason, if you want to know the truth.
Guilty of treason, if you want to know the truth. Going after those who, again, classified information, putting classified information into a book, and just another investigation. And here was another one.
Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA.
Hold on. Why won't it work? There we go. And the left is considering this political persecution when he just wants those involved, their security clearances removed, and an investigation, wouldn't you? Again, if they broke the law, I thought nobody's above the law, Democrats.
Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA. This is a man who weaponized his against free speech in the election context, in the context of COVID-19. A presidential memorandum to the one you just signed. It assurances he might have, and further instructs your Department of Justice, other aspects of your government, to investigate some of the malign acts that he participated in while he was still head of CISA.
This is another one. I don't know that I met him. I'm sure I met him, but I didn't know him. And he came out right after the election, which was a rigged election, a badly rigged election. We did phenomenally in that election. Look what happened to our country because of it. Open borders, millions of people coming into our country. Russia and Ukraine, that would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. Afghanistan, the way that they withdrew with 13 dead, but so many killed, actually. I mean, so many killed outside of the 13 soldiers, hundreds of people killed. And maybe, I I don't know, never mentioned, but I mentioned it, 42 or 43 people so badly injured, the legs, the arms, blown off, the face. And this is all because of an incompetent group of people that preceded us, and that would have never happened. And this guy Krebs was saying, oh, the election was great, it was great. Well, it's been proven that it was not only not great. When you look at all these lawyers and law firms that are signing, giving us hundreds of millions of dollars, it was proven by so many different ways in so many different forms, from the legislatures not approving to the that worked from all of the different scamming operations. It was a very corrupt election. They used COVID to cheat. And we're going to find out about this guy, too, because this guy's a wise guy. He said, we've been proved this is the most secure election in the history of our country. Now, this was a disaster. And frankly, we should go to paper ballots, same-day voting, voter ID, and one other thing, you should get a little certificate that says you're a citizen of our country. You get a citizen piece of paper that says you're a citizen before you can vote. But you want voter ID and you want paper ballots, and you really want same-day voting. If you don't have same-day voting, they decide to change the air conditioner. Oh, we're fixing the air conditioner. Let's move all these boxes. We'll bring them back in a few days, and then they don't bring back those boxes. We got to have safe elections. We have to have borders. Ideally, we have to have a free press, which we don't have. We don't have a free press. We have a very dishonest press. This is an honor. We're going to find out whether or not he was right. This was a disgraceful election, and this guy sat back saying, well, I'm a member, or like he's a Republican or something, and almost right from the beginning. And he's tried to make the case that this election was a safe election. I think he said, this is the safest election we've ever had. And yet, every day you read in the papers about more and more fraud that's discovered. He's the fraud. He's a disgrace. So we'll find out whether or not it was a safe election. And if it wasn't, he's got a big price to pay.
And if it wasn't, he's got a big price to pay. This is why Democrats want him impeached. This is exactly what we've been telling you guys, is this was all going to be coming down. I talked about earlier on the show, not everything can happen overnight. Now, this what I thought was very interesting. The left is losing their mind. So I just want you to know, if you live in a blue state or you have a blue representative and there's an issue in your area or in your state, you are not to work with Trump, even if Trump could get it fixed. Well, there's a couple issues. Gretchen Whitmer, who I don't like, was in the Oval Office today because of a bipartisan deal for a couple different items that's good for the people of Michigan. And the left are taking her and just chewing her up and spitting her out. Look at Keith Olbermann right here. He says, goodbye, Gretchen. Wherever you're going politically, say hi to Newsom there. You're done. You're done for making this is the party. This is a Democrat party these days. They don't want bipartisanship. They preach it every time they have a bill. Well, we want to do this, but we need Republicans to jump on. We need bipartisan support. But whenever there's an actual issue for the constituents, the citizens of a great state, and Trump works with them, if you're a Democrat, no. And watch some of this video here. I think this is the video. Look at this one. Aaron Rupert, this is a bad look, bottom line. Bad luck. Listen.
The pristine waters.
Yep.
Has this gotten into any of the other lakes yet? Because you would think it would be pretty easy because they're all sort of connected.
It's why we're working so hard to make sure that, we work with the Army Corps and erect a barrier so that the Asian carp can't get into Lake Michigan. It'll devastate the ecosystem, the economy, tourism.
So listen to what Trump is working on her with. A fish that they're trying to eradicate because it's killing the ecosystem there. And listen, the economy, everything. Listen to this. And Democrats are upset. This just tells you where we are in the world today.
can't get into Lake Michigan. It'll devastate the ecosystem, the economy, tourism, and it's 20% of the world's fresh water is in the Great Lakes, Mr. President, which is why it's so important that as a nation we protect the pristine waters. Yep.
And, all of a sudden, I assume the lakes are all interconnected, right? Yeah. So at some point, they're going to be in the other lakes. And so we're going to work hard on that. I spoke with the Army Corps of Engineers, and they have a method. It's a pretty gruesome method, but it's a method. And has this...
So Democrats are outraged right now because Trump, again, is being able to talk on camera, something Biden couldn't do, and work with Democrats. And I just love it. This is what I'm talking about, a businessman. I don't think Trump likes Gretchen Whitmer at all. Actually, he probably wants her replaced, but just listen to how businessmen work.
We're honored to have Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, great state of Michigan. And she's really done an excellent job and a very good person. And we're working on the Selfridge, as you know, the air base. We're trying to get the air base open, keep it open. I think, Gretchen, if you're there, and Matt Hall, the Speaker of the House of Michigan. And he's been fantastic as the Speaker. I appreciate it. We won the state, Matt, and you helped me a lot.
I did, and you made me Speaker,
so oh, I did. That's good too. And Gretchen, I think everybody knows. So we're working on that very hard, and I think we'll come home with a winner for Michigan. Okay.
Working for the folks of Michigan, whether he won Michigan, but whether they elected him or not, he shouldn't forget about him. California didn't elect him, and he wants to do things. He's doing a lot of things. He's trying to save us some money. They're auditing the high-speed rail that has been a complete boondoggle, have been just an absolute joke. It should have been completed 5 years ago. Not one foot of track has been laid. And doing some other things, trying to help us out here in California. He shouldn't just leave us hanging because not everybody voted for him. And so it's really, watch this. I'm going to pull up Gretchen. Gretchen Whitmer is trending right now. Let's see. I'm pulling it up. Here's one of the things. President signs an executive order to get rid of the Asian carp in Lake Michigan. Present for the signing in the Oval Office was Gretchen Whitmer. Well, it's her state. She's the governor of that state. Look at this one. We'll skip that one. There's actually a lot of bad things about Gretchen on here, but I think that's just great. They're triggered, guys. And this is what a businessman does, not a politician. This is what a businessman does. Doesn't matter you're blue, red, whatever. Let's fix the issues in your state. There's pressing issues in your state. Don't forget, guys, we have our raffle going on. Again, we at Oreo Express are 100% viewer funded to pay the lights, camera, action, travel. Everything is because of your donations. And I want to say thank you to that. We appreciate you. It's not the beginning of the month anymore, but we are behind on some bills. So we got a little raffle going on that we're going to be doing Friday. Let me show you what those items are really quick. You have wrong one. Donald Trump lives here for your American currency. Check that out. Make sure you put that on every bill you have. Trigger them. We have the Trump hair koozie, Keep America Great for spring and all the warm times are coming. We have this 8x12 sign. It says, notice, this place is politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas, one nation under God. We salute our flag and give thanks to our troops. If this offends you, leave. And a We the People have had enough decal for your laptop, computer, back of your car, and also two of the Trump bucks here that Renee thankfully sent us 4. 2 of them are for the raffle. 2 of them are for us. And there you have that. So 2 of those will also be going to you. And if you guys want to get in, the way you can do it is each $10 donation gets you 1 entry. So if you do $30, you get 3 entries. And where you can donate at is Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. Or we also have a Zelle. If you do the bank app and you have a Zelle part of that you transfer from, go to our website, theoreoexpress.com. Scroll down our homepage and you will see a donate now button with all our links. We want to say we appreciate you. We can't do it without you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in. If anything pops a little later, we should be around the area of the studio. So we'll cover anything that's breaking. And once again, want to say thank you and have a blessed evening. Thank you for joining in. We will see you guys. If not later, we will see you tomorrow. God bless.